And welcome to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. Cade McGahan making a start for the Tigers as this first pitch is into the zone for strike one. McGahan, a good start for Trinity. Back here for game two as that one fouled off by Tanner Santos. McGahan, a good outing last Saturday in the second half of a doubleheader. Second time he started in the second half of a doubleheader. Pitched 4.1 innings, did not allow a run. Said he hopes to have more length at this time, though he was happy to throw up zeros for the team. As that pitch high. McGahan trying to use that fastball to set up his breaking ball. Says the pitch pairs well as there's a breaking ball into the dirt. Taken by Tanner Santos. A good take at that, as that is a pitch McGahan loves for his put away. Santos will stay in the box. As that just outside. Going to lose Santos, so he walks the first batter of the game. Borderline pitch, called a ball. So once again, Babson early at bats, reaching.
Yes, we saw it a bunch in game one, and now we're starting it off here in game two. So not a huge surprise, but we'll see. This is something that catches my eye about Cade McGahan here. Is throwing over to first when he does allow a runner over. And we'll see if this becomes something that he does often. As last couple of weeks when he's come into pitch, it's been one of the things that I've taken away is just how much he's thrown over at times.
Patrick Manning in the box, hit much lower in the order last game, just 30 minutes ago. Take strike one there. Was hitting seventh, I believe, last game. Now second, as it'll be Savage following him, and then Cook, and then Ryan Noon as that pitch in there for strike two. Keeley behind the dish again, followed by Ruben, Julian, Perkle, and then Tim Noon starting at pitcher. As McGahan checks on the runner there. We'll get into the Trinity lineup when they come up. Kai Tinker there at first base. Corson Hastings had a very good outing. Game one is another pickoff attempt by Cade McGahan, something he loves to do. Swing and a miss. Runner will go, though. Throw not in time. Tanner Santos able to take second base. So all of a sudden, Babson with a runner in scoring position. And that will bring up Brent Savage. A good game one from him. Went 2 for 4. As ball one taken there. Runner on second. Tanner Santos able to take the base. One out in the inning. Strike called there. Towards the inside part of the plate. Able to work it in. Asked Dave Smith what he loves about Cade McGahan in this role. He said everything. Just his poise and his demeanor. A great guy to get a game going in the right direction. As a swing and a miss there. That'll be strike number 2 as McGahan gets ahead in the count.
Yeah, very nice pitch there. Savage thought about it a little bit too much and hesitated pulling the trigger and kind of half swung at it.
And strike 3, swing and a miss. McNaney will have to throw out Savage and finish the job. Able to do it successfully. Cade McGahan, his first K of the day. Second. My apologies, folks.
Yeah, back-to-back strikeouts there, but they've both been on breaking balls down in the dirt. And so they've both been KS's with the 1-2 putout, or excuse me, the 1-3 putout designation, or the 2-3 putout. Goodness, can we start this one over? The KS 2-3 putout designation, and you still have Santos over at first via the walk, but An opportunity now for McGahan to get out of the inning without any damage done. Babson still looking to break through.
Grounder there, and no, Montreza not able to make the play. Runner trying to score. Santos does it easily, and Babson able to go up 1-0 just off the glove of Michael Montreza. Tough play to make, so I doubt that that'll count as an error. But
yeah,
the run will score.
It'll be interesting to see how they actually score it, and we'll take a look here in a minute. But that play, Montreza did everything he could just to knock it down, but the one thing that I saw was he knocked it down, and Santos was going the whole way. It would have been nice to see Montreza, knock it down and immediately bounce back up trying to get to it. So I don't know if when he knocked it down, that was a long reach, so maybe got the wind knocked out of him or something on the reach. But
Babson able to start this game off a lot better. Was down 6-0 in game one. Able to jump on Trinity here, getting the 1-0 lead. As Ryan Noon fouls that one into the bullpen of the Tigers. Ryan Noon in at DH again. Similar spot in the order where he was in game one. So a similar role here for the nephew of Coach Matt Noon. 0-2 count here. As gets a piece of it. McGahan loving to go to that curveball in 2-strike situations. No different there. Ryan Noon somehow able to touch that baseball.
And Noon connecting with the ball, his at-bats. But looking to break through here.
Oh, 0-2 pitch. Oh, Noon gets a piece of it again, able to stay alive. So working McGahan a little bit. Trying to find a way to get out of this inning and leave Cook at first base. Ryan Noon trying to drive in another run for Babson. Gets a piece of this one. It'll go to Tanner Haney. Makes the easy play. And Trinity gets 3 outs in this inning. Babson 1, Trinity 0. That is the end of the top of the first. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Babson opening up a 1-0 lead on Trinity. And on the mound for the Beavers, Tim Noon. Any relation? Well, yes. Son of Coach Matt Noon and the cousin of Ryan Noon, who we saw ground out in that first inning. First pitch to Christian Holloway, leading off again, is a strike.
Holloway went yard in his first at-bat in game one. I was going to say a couple of hours ago, and it was 2 hours and probably 20 minutes ago that he went yard. well within the range of maybe just an extended game here as we start game 2. That first game going by in almost 2 hours flat.
Holloway gets a piece of that one to stay alive. These game 1s have gone by really fast here at One Trinity Place.
Tim Noon last season 6-2 overall in 10 appearances and 56 innings pitched.
That one, ooh, did not get the call. That could have easily been strike 3. Holloway able to stay alive, though.
It'll look good. Would have been good for his first strikeout of the year, but instead he'll get a ground ball, and that one thrown over and be retired for Holloway. 6-3 by Perkle at short. But Tim Noon last year on the mound, 53 strikeouts in 56 innings, only gave up 46 hits and only walked 16. We already know that they don't walk very many. We talked about it in game 1. Led the nation in walks per 9, but an impressive 3.05 ERA, 8.52 Ks per 9. And this will be a fly ball out to right and quickly 2 down here for the Tigers.
As you said, it 2 down for Trinity. It's Tanner Haney will ground out. Bringing up Brandon Nelson, hitting third today. McNaney doing the catching. Nelson slides up in the order to 3, taking the spot of Lazera. Brandon Nelson at DH again. As the Tigers have played 8 games, he's played all of them at DH, starting every single game.
He's coming into that role very nicely now. I know last week on the broadcast you guys talked about that he didn't necessarily feel comfortable about it. You don't feel like you're in the groove of a game, and if you're not hitting well, then it's especially tough. But he hit very well in game 1.
We'll get a piece of that. It'll be 1-2. Brandon Nelson cleared to play defensively, not doing so today. Was practicing a lot at first base this week. Was dealing with a shoulder injury that was relegating him to DH. But there again, as Nelson takes that pitch inside and stays alive.
So Noon working with the lead here, bottom of the first.
Nelson gets a piece of that. A dribbler. Tim Noon covers the bag and gets the final out of the inning. So Tim Noon efficient there in inning number 1. Inning number 2 next on Tiger Network. And welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Cade McGahan back on the mound after giving up the early run. At the top of the second, that pitch in for strike 1. McGahan loving to use that fastball to set up his put-away curveball. Talking to him this week, he said those 2 pitches pair really well. As gets under this one, going out to center field. Ezra Gore able to take care of it. So a 2-pitch out for Cade McGahan. Healy retired quickly. And that'll bring up Rubin next in this Babson lineup.
Did not feature in game 1. Starting here in game number 2. And Luca Rubin, the junior from Los Angeles, California.
Played a little bit as a pitcher. They've used him as both, but last season had 2 RBIs in 4 at-bats. And now here starting in the second game of the season.
Fairly productive when you are efficient, I should say.
0-2 count And on the outside, but not close enough to the strike zone. That'll be the first ball.
Yeah, good offering from McGahan. You don't want to necessarily put that over the plate.
Ruben gets under this one, sky high, and taken care of by Montreza. So back-to-back outs by way of the air for Cade McGahan.
Yeah, and that'll be very good for him. Guy that might focus on runners on a bit too much.
Strike one there. We see the pickoff attempts from Cade McGahan quite consistently, quite worried about runners at first base. None here, though. Retiring the first two batters. Swing and a miss on that curveball.
Yeah, the easiest way to stop a guy from throwing over is to help him out defensively and get the outs when they come.
And another strikeout for McGahan. Finishing the job is McNaney to Tinker, and that is a quick inning. No damage done in this one. Babson 1, Trinity nothing from 1 Trinity Place. And welcome back to the Alamo City. Tim Noon back on the mound for the white and green. He'll be facing Kai Tinker. As that pitch just inside for ball 1. As we talked about, Coach Scannell shuffling this Tiger lineup. We saw Holloway, Haney, Brandon Nelson. Now Kai Tinker hitting cleanup as another strike called there. Ezra Gore will hit after him, followed by Montreza, Austin Davidson, Matt McNaney, and Trey Verver. A pitch low and inside. Talked about it in the last broadcast. We'll see a million lineups in these first few series. Coach Scannell trying to find who are going to be their starters for the remainder of the year. As Tinker swings through that one, evening the count at 2. Saw Kai Tinker at first base in Game 3 against Hardin Simmons. Performed well. As Tinker gets a piece of that one, it'll get down into right field. So Tinker going for 2. He'll slide into second safely. Kai Tinker, a leadoff double, and the Tigers are in business.
Yeah, you get an opportunity. Put your name in the lineup, and like you said, Game 1, coaching staff really going to throw out different lineups out there. They want to see who's going to perform, and it's a little bit of a tough luck situation for a lot of the guys that get thrown out there because you don't have that ability to go out there and consistently, get your name in the lineup and get comfortable in the lineup. So you've just got to go out there and make things happen. So it's almost like guys are, being thrown out there almost in like pinch hit situations where it's like, hey, grab a bat and you're good to go. And Kai Tinker taking advantage of his opportunities.
Ezra Gore grounds a bunt, reaches in time. So Ezra Gore, willing to sacrifice himself, going to reach instead and advances Kai Tinker while he's at it.
Yeah, job well done. And then, might as well just grab yourself a little bit extra for yourself. Now, runners on the corners now for Montreza.
Michael Montreza up for Trinity. Consistent shortstop starter. Calcone getting a start at shortstop last weekend as the check-in on Gore. But Montreza, one of the few areas in this Tigers lineup where they know who's going to be there most days.
Yeah, very, very solid defensively.
As that's in there for a strike.
And I know that I brought up his name when he was out on defense, saying that like maybe he could have hopped up a little bit quicker, but most guys aren't even getting to that ball in the first place. So that just shows you a little bit of the range that he has, the ability to patrol that area, you know. Very similar to what Babson has over there in Perkle. You kind of put your captain over at shortstop.
Pitch to Montreza in the zone for strike 2. As Montreza, one of the anchors defensively for these Tigers. Several spots up for grabs in this lineup. Shortstop, second base, not one of them. Colt Harris, Michael Montreza have that pretty locked down. As Montreza fouls this one off. Some other areas that we see, Jack Peterson pretty consistently at center, even though he's not there today. And Ezra Gore probably going to fill in one of those spots.
And a run has come across. I'm not sure. Again, we are inside the gymnasium here, down underneath it in one of the rooms. And so I did see the motion was made for both runners to advance, and Tigers have tied this game at 1. I don't know what the reasoning was.
Basically, I would assume that means there was a balk called.
Either
if
a
both
balk or
runners are advancing one base. As Montreza gets a piece of that. Kai Tinker coming in from third to score. Ezra Gore moving over to second. So this is a tie ball game, 1-1, as we try and put the pieces together here.
Yeah, and we're pulling the live stats page off the website there for your scoreboard, so that will update as soon as they figure that out as well. And Gore's going to stay at second on that ball in the dirt.
So Trinity able to work in a run somehow. Still figuring it out, but they'll take it. 1-1 game, as you see it there, just updating. Michael Montreza trying to drive in Ezra Gore. And swings through that one. And that will be strike 3 for Montreza, and the first out of the inning.
Yeah, big out for Tim Noon, and then the first strikeout of the season. Or excuse me, because of the balk, it wasn't a foul ball earlier, so it is now 2-2.
So Montreza staying in there. Walked off like he was struck out, staying in there, gets a piece of it, so he'll stay alive even longer.
And that would make a lot more sense to what you were saying. If that indeed was a balk, the foul ball that he hit back on that play would have negated the foul ball, would have negated the pitch altogether, and thus I think we figured it out.
Not the first time we've seen a balk drive in a run. Joseph Giovanna in game 1 of the season, charged with a balk against Birmingham Southern. Drove in the Panthers' first run. Montreza gets a piece of that one into right field. Play made. Gore will take third as he tags. Yeah. So Michael Montreza able to advance the runner.
Nice job for Ruben out there patrolling right field in his first action of the season. And that's not an easy play to be made, as you can tell by the shadows there for Ezra Gore. And the rest of the field, that sun is going to be right in the right fielder's line of sight on most of these balls coming out, and makes the catch.
Sliding play made there for the first out of the inning, as pitch taken there by Austin Davidson. Davidson working through a finger injury that he suffered last week, as that is popped up into the outfield. Play made. Tagging is Gore, trying to come in, and he will do so standing up. So Trinity taking the 2-1 lead. Austin Davidson a sac fly, and Ezra Gore a run.
Yeah, and that balk continuing to haunt Tim Noon here, as Gore was only over at second and third base based off of the fly balls. Would not have come across the score had that balk not occurred.
Austin Davidson getting the nod at left field today. Usually we see him at third base. The converted catcher was dealing with a finger injury. He suffered on a pickoff attempt in game 2 of the Birmingham Southern Series. Was out of action last weekend, able to come back as there will be a meeting at the mound with Tim Noon trying to settle this thing down.
We get a good look there with Keeley's earpiece. Division 3 moving to the signs being brought in with the electronics.
And Tim Noon going to try and get this final out and keep this a 2-1 game. Will be Matt McNaney getting his second start of the season. Had his first start last weekend against Hardin Simmons. Had 2 hits in that game. Was giving Lazara a break. McNaney able to foul that one off. And the return of Tyler Pettit seems to be coming soon. Starting catching this weekend. And starting to hit in BP. As McNaney gets a piece of this one in the right field. Play made by Rubin. And that will end the inning. So end of 2, 2-1 Trinity able to take the lead. We'll be back for more baseball on Tiger Network. And welcome back to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. Tanner Santos to lead this inning off for the Beavers. As McGahan working with a lead now, getting some run support. As the Tigers cashed in, getting 2 runs to score, 1 off a balk, and then Ezra Gore coming around on a sac fly. Now working with Jack Perkle. Not Tanner Santos, Jack Perkle. Bottom of this order, Tanner Santos due up next. Jack Perkle, consistent starter at shortstop for these Beavers. Takes one inside there. And here's the pitch from McGahan. Perkle gets a piece of it. Haney able to recover it and throws it out to Kai Tinker. So Perkle retired very quickly. Easy play for Tanner Haney.
Yeah, nice easy play there. McGahan been doing a great job of, I think he's settled in and allowed the defense to work behind him. As Santos brings the top of the order back up. Go back to that walk against Santos. I think McGahan was maybe overthrowing a little bit early on. Maybe just a little bit excited out there or whatever it was, but he's trusted into his defense now over the last 7 batters plus, and he's settled in very nicely.
This defense even more capable than they were in prior seasons with that turf. Bounces more predictable. Confidence increasing from all of these infielders. As that pitch away, McNaney, good job sliding to get that. Tanner Santos, big shoes to fill. Thomas Lapham leaving, graduating from the Babson Beavers organization. Coach Noon called him a glue guy and hopes Tanner Santos can become that guy as well. As Santos taken away. Great play by Kai Tinker, able to go out and get it. Covered by McGahan, and that'll be the second out of the inning.
Well, Kai Tinker making a case both offensively and defensively to be out there regularly. Getting the spot start here. And the coaching staff going to be looking at guys. They're throwing out different lineups to see who's going to be able to perform when called upon. Kai Tinker, I think, is vaulting his name up the list as guys to go to.
Patrick Manning up for the Beavers, but going back to Kai Tinker and the success he's had. First base start in Game 3 against Hardin Simmons, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and scored 3 runs. At this one, up the gut, Patrick Manning able to hit it between the gap between short and second and get a base runner for Babson.
Yeah, Manning sending it to his counterpart as we go over there in center field.
So Patrick Manning able to get on and extend this Babson inning. That'll bring up Savage now for the Beavers.
Savage up first base runner against McGahan here in quite a few, so we'll see how comfortable he is here with 2 down if he decides to throw over. And he does.
Another pickoff attempt for Cade McGahan. Working against Savage now. Swinging through that one. In for fair territory. A base hit trying to get Manning at third. Not even going to come close. So Manning at third. Savage stayed at first. So runners at the corners for the Babson Beavers.
Yeah, great first to third there from Manning. That's, 2-1 game here in the third. Those are the little bitty things right there. You know, if he comes across and scores, it's because he did a great job going first to third on a ball hit down the left field line. He had it all right in front of him.
And strike 1 there, swing and a miss from Cook. But I think an important thing to note about Brent Savage, 0 for 4 in stolen base attempts last season. As that pitch into the dirt, going to get away from McNaney. Throw will not be made at all.
So now 2 in scoring position for Cook. He had a double in game 1.
Savage able to take second base. So 2 in scoring position, as you said. Cook going to try and give Babson the lead once again. Trinity winning 6-1 in that first game. The largest margin of victory they've had all season. Really the first time they've probably felt comfortable in a game. Largest lead before that was a 4-run victory against Birmingham Southern. Got up to a 6-0 lead there. Birmingham chipping away, got 2 back, and made it interesting late. First time they really blew a game open. This one looking to be more of the tight variety for Trinity. Is that curveball low?
And for the Tiger fans who probably haven't followed Birmingham's season after that, the weekend after, so last weekend they went and they played LaGrange, who's ranked number 2 in the country, who beat Trinity twice at Cedar Rapids to end their season. So that one's up the middle.
Play made by Montreza will be in time. No, it will not. Run coming in. The throw's made there. McNaney able to apply the tag and end the inning in a bizarre way. Patrick Manning coming in from third, trying to tie this game. McNaney said no. That'll be the end of the half of the inning for Trinity. They maintain the 2-1 lead. So just an update for you folks. A run did score for Babson. That was Brent Savage that got tagged out. But before him, Patrick Manning came in to tie the game. So this is a 2-2 ball game. As all we saw on our screen was a runner get thrown out.
Yeah, we were looking at it, and that ball back up the middle. Again, we don't have replay because our big replay server is being used for the conference basketball tournament, so we're here with this. But we looked at it again, and it was like, wait, did Manning wait that long to try to score, or did they have something maybe in motion on that hit? And it looked like maybe they had put on a small hit and run or something, because Savage was moving around the bases, and he almost went second to home on a ground ball in the infield very quickly.
Absolutely. Great catch by Josh there. As Trey Verver up for the Tigers. 2-2 ball game. As McNaney able to get the tag on to Brent Savage as Verver swings through that one. Strike 2. Getting the tag on Brent Savage. Patrick Manning able to come in and tie the game for Babson. Pitch from Noon. Strike 3 called. Swinging through that one was Trey Verver. And that'll be the first out of the third for Babson.
So the bottom of the order there for Trinity. Now we'll roll it back over for the first time here in Game 2. Christian Holloway, 0 for 1, ground out to short early on.
Had the home run and his first at-bat of the day. And what was going to be a 6-1 rout for Trinity. Getting on top of that one. Play made by Perkle. Easy out. Good play by Julian. Able to keep the foot on the bag. And Tim Noon, quick 2 outs for him.
Yeah, and a second ground out to short there for Holloway. Bring up Haney, and Haney sacrificed there in Game 1, looking to get something going. Flew out to right here to open Game 2. He'd love to get on base, getting a shot at second base today. Started both games so far.
Yeah, both games for Tanner Haney after not making a start in the prior 2 weekends. Made an appearance against Hardin Simmons, but that was all the action he saw. That pitch in there for strike 1. Tim Noon seems to be settling in after giving up those 2 runs. Babson able to back him up offensively. Haney gets one, and that'll be caught. Ranging play made by Patrick Manning. He tied the game. He ends the inning. End of the third on Tiger Network.
One.
Welcome back to the Alamo City. Cade McGahan coming out for his 3rd inning of work. Leading up for Babson, Ryan Noon takes a pitch outside for a strike. We'll get into the family dynamic. Noon family running through this Babson team. Part of that being Ryan Noon, making his first 2 starts at DH this season. That pitch outside. Cade McGahan working that side of the plate. So 1-2 pitch coming. And Noon able to get a piece of it. We've seen that today. He's been touching that curveball that a lot of people struggle to get to. Cade McGahan loves to wheel that out with 2 strikes, and Noon has been able to go down and get it several times today. Gets it there. It'll be to Haney, who makes the play to Tinker.
Good ranging play for Tanner Haney. Ends up being a routine play, but off the end of the bat, we weren't quite so sure. takes the backhand at it. Not necessarily up the middle. It was still in that second baseman's position range, but nice play nonetheless.
I don't know how Ryan Noon got a piece of that. That curveball dipped and able to lower the bat and get it all the way out to second base. And swing and a miss there. Looked like he went around. Ump agrees. As Keeley 0 for 1 so far. Couldn't touch that curveball. 1-1 count. Make it 2-1 as that's going to miss high. Action in the Tiger bullpen. Jonathan Newman recorded the save against Hardin Simmons. As gets a large chunk of that one out to center field. Gore going to make the play. So out number 2 and 2 batters, 2 down.
Second time Keeley's flied out to Gore here. Did it in the second inning and here in the top of the 4th.
So it'll bring up Ruben, getting the start in right field. Takes a look at that one for strike 1. We talked about it. 4 at-bats last season, 2 RBIs off those 4 at-bats. So you know there's something there.
Look, Ruben popped a short back in the second. It was a 1-2-3 inning for McGahan.
Ruben able to hold up, wanted to get that slider, able to resist and stay alive. 2-1 count now. And strike 2 called. Could have been low, but it's going to be called as the second strike of the at-bat.
Yeah, it might have been a bit low in game number 1 of this doubleheader, but getting the call here in game 2.
Resists again. We've seen him want it twice now in this at-bat, able to hold up, and the count will go to full. As gets a piece of that, not going to go through the hole. Montreza takes care of it, and that is the inning for Trinity. 2-2, Babson and Trinity. Back and forth we go. And welcome back to Texas. Trinity and Babson deadlocked at 2. Tim Noon back on the mound, the son of Coach Matt Noon and cousin of Ryan Noon. So a family atmosphere around Babson. I was talking to Matt Noon about that as Nelson gets a piece of this, but that's going to go foul. Talking to Matt Noon about that. Said that his wife and daughter are more invested in the Babson games now that Tim is pitching. And really enjoys coaching his son, but views him as just another player. If he's struggling, he's going to have to yank him, just like any other pitcher. And he says the team views him a similar way, as Nelson's going to eat that one. So that'll get him to first base. Brendan Nelson, leadoff hitter, reaching. But saying he has to pull him like any other pitcher, and the team views him just like another player as well. Also noting that Tim has a very good personality, which helps his cause with his teammates.
Yeah, it can sometimes be a pretty tricky, situation for the son of a coach or something of that nature. But you look at the numbers from last year, and I think he definitely shows that he pulls his own weight.
Tinker bunts that up, but not able to make the play is Keeley.
That was a great effort, though.
laid out for it. Thought he might have had a chance, but that's going to hit the ground. So Kai Tinker will stay alive. But it was interesting to note that Coach Noon did not expect it to be that way. He expected to feel differently. Coaching his son, but does not. Treats him like any other player. And it's no doubt that the action that he's getting has been earned. ERA of 3.05 as they'll check on Brandon Nelson. Another interesting note that Matt Noon said is that he feels like he's lost a lot of family time with this job. 21st season as head coach of Babson. And he's happy to get some of it back with Tim in the building. Kai Tinker trying to bring over Brandon Nelson and give Trinity the lead. 1-1 pitch. Tinker squares up to bunt, pulls it back though. Trying to get Brandon Nelson over, manufacturing runs when you have the opportunity, especially on this turf.
Yeah, Noon, I don't know if he's content on letting Tinker move the runner over. So he's trying to throw a pitch that maybe he feels that he can get Tinker to pop up, much like he did the first pitch, but now he's running the count to 3-1. And that could be a problem here because if he misses, now you've got two aboard, and Tinker did his job without having to do anything.
And right down the middle, did not square up to bunt this time. And strike two, you will imagine that Tinker will not be bunting anymore.
And maybe for the best for the Tigers, did have a double in his last at-bat.
Tinker gets a piece of it fouled off though, so he'll live another day. Trinity just trying to find ways to manufacture runs. They've been working a lot on bunting in practice, bunt coverage, and a lot on stealing and hitting runs. As Tinker sends that one out to right field, and it's going to be caught. Patrick Manning able to get over and make the play, and Brandon Nelson will stay right where he is at first base.
Another great shot there from Tinker, though. I think the coaching staff's going to be pretty happy with the at-bat overall. You know, maybe you send him up there to move the runner over. That didn't necessarily happen, but then with a two-strike count, he does a hard line drive out to the right center gap.
Kai Tinker making it interesting over there at first base. Corson Hastings having a good day himself, making some athletic defensive plays in game one. And Austin Davidson also in the mix at that position, though he is starting in left field today.
Yeah, those guys all in the mix. And then you look at Nelson, who's the DH currently. The reason why I say you look at that is because you got Lazera, who's catching. And Lazera is going to be possibly moved out of the catching spot with Tyler Pettit coming back in a couple of weeks. So right now the Tigers have a lot of figuring out to do.
Gore will fly out to center there, but absolutely a lot of figuring out to do. Brandon Nelson working a lot at first base this week. We've also seen Nick Lazera get some practice over there. Not this week, but last week, as that is a bat you want to keep in the lineup. Gore flies out, so Montreza will be up now for Trinity. 2 outs in this inning. Squares up to bunt. Nelson will take second with ease. Runner went, no throw, and another stolen base for Brandon Nelson on the season.
Yeah, I wonder if Nelson just timed that on his own. He took off, didn't look like necessarily a, you know, it could have been a, and I'm curious, time must have been called right there as the throw didn't come in. If you don't complete that throw now, that is considered to be a balk, so must have been a time called situation.
Low pitch there, taken for a ball. As you said that, we have seen that this season in Trinity games. Throw not made, and runners advance as Keeley will head out to visit with Noon.
Yeah, for the Babson fans tuning
batting second, the shortstop, number 1, Jack Purple. To the top of the order, second base number 2, Tanner Santos. Next up for Babson, center fielder number 29, Patrick Manning. Davidson.
As that pitch in there for a strike from Tim Noon.
And we apologize that the mics might not have been working the last half inning, but we are back here for the bottom half of the 5th inning.
2-2 score here. 0-1 pitch to Austin Davidson. As that will be outside. Make that count 1-2. Davidson getting the start in left field today. And fouls that one off, staying alive. So Davidson, definitely a bat that they try and work into this lineup, trying to get everybody they can to get some starts here, trying to figure out where people fall. As Davidson grounds one to Noon, able to walk to first and take care of it. Gets it over to Jack Julian for the first out of the inning. Good fielding by Tim Noon.
Making a play there for himself. Looks like he's okay. Looks like he fielded it pretty cleanly as well. So nice job, pitcher's fielding.
So Noon's pitch on the outside to Trey Verver in the 9-hole for this Trinity offense. As that one will get away, no harm though. Nobody on base to get running. Trey Verver, McNaney actually. Matt McNaney up, I saw the 2. Thought it was Trey Verver. He'll be up next. Matt McNaney in the 8-hole. 2 hits in his last outing. None today so far, but only 0 for 1. As 2-1 count here. That pitch low, and it'll be 3-1 in danger of losing him.
Yeah, if you can get an opportunity to put a runner on for the 9-hole hitter.
They will do exactly that. McNaney able to take ball 4 and take first base while he's at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised even with 1 out here if maybe they look at Verver to bunt McNaney over.
Always a possibility trying to manufacture runs however they can. Verver will take a look at strike 1, not squaring up there. So it looks like he's going to try and bring him in the old-fashioned way by getting a bat on that baseball.
Runner goes.
Swinging on that one. It will go foul, so McNaney will have to go back as the runner went.
That might explain why you weren't bunting. If you had a stolen base attempt on here for McNaney, or a hit and run going with Verber.
McNaney, the catcher, caught 2 Cowboys stealing in his start last weekend. Trying to do it himself there. This count 0-2 for Trey Verver. 9-hole hitter. Swings through that one. Tim Noon able to take care of him. And he is 1 out away from stranding that runner at first.
It does turn over the order, though, back to the top with Christian Holloway. Started off this day with a big bang. The solo home run, top of the first in game, or bottom of the first in game 1. And he can turn the score here for the Tigers if he gets into another one. But been a pretty competitive back and forth game here so far. A lot of scoring early for both teams, and then it's settled in very nicely for both pitchers.
Absolutely. 2-2 in the blink of an eye. Not so much sense as we are over halfway through this one. These games have gone very quickly. That first one flying by. This one, some of the same. Slowing down a little bit here. 0-1 pitch coming. Or later, as a pitcher pickoff attempt will be made. As you said, Josh, Holloway homering in his first at-bat of the day. 3rd home run for Trinity all season. Nick Lazara was the only one to do it before. Holloway gets a piece of this one. In right field, play made. Jumping up and making the catch is Rubin. And allowed out to end the inning.
A huge catch there, because if that gets over the head of Rubin, the Tigers retake the lead. As it is, we'll head to the 6th, still tied at 2.
We'll be back on Tiger Network. And welcome back to San Antonio. Cade McGahan still out there for his 6th inning of work. The lead off the inning will be Brent Savage, who swings over that curveball. So McGahan, a good start, up 0-1.
Yeah, last we saw Savage was back in the 3rd inning.
That one not going to get through. Tanner Haney able to catch it. Great play by Haney at second base and a quick out for McGahan. We do not have replay capabilities, but that was a heck of a catch. So I encourage all of you folks at home to rewind that 10 seconds and take a look. Spectacular defense by Haney, getting his 2nd start at second base for the year. McGahan now working with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. 2-2 game between Trinity and Babson, what we've become accustomed to when the Beavers come into town. That pitch in there for strike 2.
Cook with the last hits so far here for Babson. That was all the way back in the 3rd inning. It was his base hit that scored the game-tying run as Manning came around, and then Brant Savage, who was on second base, tried to go second to home on the play over. Cook had been safe at first, and then they were able to throw home after that and retire Savage by a step or 2.
This one bounces to Montreza. He takes care of it. That's out number 2. Able to get there in time.
You can see the umpire saying the ball came out on the transfer, so the out sticks. And McGahan has now, I'd say, officially settled in. That is, well, it's not 9 retired in a row as Santos reached on an error, but give him credit. He only went 3 up, 3 down in that inning.
And a swing and a miss there. Ryan Noon, one of the only Babson Beavers that has been touching McGahan's curveball today. Been getting to it a lot, fouling it off. Put it up to Tanner Haney, who ended up getting him out in his last at-bat, but still able to get the ball all the way out there on a pitch for most hitters that is pretty untouchable.
He goes down and slaps that one right on top of the Tiger bullpen, or excuse me, the dugout, and it rolled along that fence all the way down to the bullpen.
Pitch outside there on Noon. Cade McGahan only 4 1/3 last Saturday against Hardin Simmons. Already 5 2/3 here, though the 2 runs given up. As Noon hacks at that one, able to get a piece of it.
For those that have been here before and haven't been here since the renovations, gone are the chain link fences and a netting that kind of wraps around all the way from the edge of the Tiger dugout on the far side and then wraps all the way down the right field line, basically.
Trinity putting a lot money into these renovations. Swinging over that one is Noon. McNaney going to throw him out and take care of it. That'll end the inning. A quick one for Cade McGahan. 2-2 the score. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th next. Tim Noon on the mound for his 6th inning of work. He'll have Tanner Haney to deal with to start it off, as both pitchers have looked very efficient today.
Haney with a fine defensive play just moments ago. Let's see if he can translate that defense into offense.
0 for 2 today. As that pitch high, Tanner Haney making a good statement for himself at second base today. Swinging through that one, it's a foul tip. Colt Harris, usually the mainstay at second, have not seen him there today. As a swing and a miss from Haney. Will have to finish the job at first, but able to do it with ease. So a strikeout for Tanner Haney. That is the 3rd K for Noon today.
At an 8.35 Ks per 9 a year ago. Now sitting at 0.5. Shade over. 1 out here in the 6th inning.
Strike 1 on Christian Holloway. No, Brandon Nelson in there. Hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Reached on that. As did he go? They say yes. Looked like it to us, and that'll bring the count to 0-2.
Yeah, no, he tried to show the umpire, hold on, maybe I didn't, but I think when you're that far out in front of it, you're just showing the ump that you did go.
Well, always important to take the balls where you can. Be a good actor when you need to. Takes that one. Borderline, they're going to call it. Strike 3. Yeah. Tim Noon is 4th of the day.
Just on top of it right now. I think he settled in a couple of innings ago, and now I think he's finding the rhythm and he's into the groove at this point.
Tinker gets under this one, and that'll be fouled into left field. As Tim Noon still dealing. Did not have his best outing in a 12-11 loss at Trinity last season. As that went in there for strike 2. Was chased in the 1st inning coming off of a hip injury that cost him his entire sophomore season. But a different pitcher today than he was that day in San Antonio.
Yeah, and if you look at the overall mark, still had a 3.05 ERA counting that game.
And a swing and a miss. Tinker's going to have to run it out, but Babson able to handle it, and that is the end of the 6th. These two pitchers not having any of it. We'll go to the 7th after this. Welcome back to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. Haney, Nelson, Tinker all down by way of the K. Tim Noon dealing in that inning. Made quick work of the top part of that Tigers lineup. So Cade McGahan out for his 7th inning of work, trying to do the same. And that pitch out there for a ball.
I like Keeley trying to become the first member of the bottom half of this order to get a base hit today.
Gets a piece of that one. Fouled off, though. 1-1 count.
5 through 9 hitters 0 for 11 here this afternoon against Cade McGahan.
McGahan, curveball, able to lay off of it. Is Keeley on such an important part of the game. It's manufacturing runs in all parts of your lineup. Not able to do that, the Babson Beavers, as you astutely pointed out. Ofer today against Cade McGahan. Trying to change that is Keeley. Swinging on that one. Not going to get it through. McGahan made the defensive play, tosses it over to Tinker, and that is the first out of the inning.
Yeah, nice job for Cade McGahan. That one chopped right back to him, and I think kind of wedged it between the glove and the jersey at some point. It was a softly hit ball, but able to recover nicely.
And an update for you at home. We have action in the Trinity pen. Harrison Durow warming up for the Tigers.
See it out there, top of the screen.
Was that one in there for a ball? Trinity loving to use Durow in high leverage situations. None more than this. Tie game late at 2.
Yeah, and a reason for that, we saw just Shavana in the first game. Went 101 pitches, and right now, Cade McGahan sitting at 100 himself.
A strike called on that outside edge. Something we haven't seen in past years. These starters getting a lot of length. Shavana pitching a complete game last week, going deep into the game earlier today. Getting on top of that one. An easy play made by Montreza. Rubin, no different from Keeley, strikes out. Grounds out.
Yeah, I had a 3-0 count. McGahan got the easy give me strike. And then from there, got him to roll out. Montreza, 6-3, put out. And just 0 for 12 now. That's the bottom half of the order just not coming alive. And you kind of feel for Tim Noon here, because if that bottom half of the order had just done a little bit through the first few innings.
And here is their first hit. Jack Julian able to put it into left field, and the first member of the bottom half order to record a hit today.
Yeah, make it 1 for 14 now for the 5 through 9 hitters. And that might be curious. I'd be very curious to see how Trinity handles this situation if they decide to leave Cade out here, or if maybe we see Coach Smith make another trot out.
As a pinch hitter here for, no, it is not. They recorded a pinch hitter. There'll be a pinch runner for Babson. It'll be Ryan, and I apologize if I get this wrong. Hozdovic. That was not my best attempt. We'll figure it out. As a meeting at the mound, Tim Scannell talking to Cade McGahan. But anyways, the first year pinch running, Jack Perkle in to hit.
Go Wojdovic.
Maybe. We will figure it out.
My best guess is that so we'll spell it out for those at home that don't have the lineups in front of them. It's HVOD, or excuse me, HVOZ, and then DOVIC. So
yes, that Z is important. That Z.
Yeah, that's what's, not only is it tripping us up just with the pronunciation, but my guess is the V probably carries a W sound, and or it would be silent. So don't know there, but
and McGahan will check on him again As Perkel's going to have to wait a little longer for that next pitch. As we see it, the concern with runners at first.
He's got Cade McGahan's attention while we try to figure out his name. Top 7, 2 down. Perkel trying to stay alive.
That pitch outside taken by Perkel. It'll even the count at 2. 2 outs, trying to drive in the leading run for Babson. And we'll see if they find a way to get that runner from first over to second.
If they do, I think we're seeing a call to the pen as the count now runs full. This might be the last chance here for McGahan.
Harrison Durow probably ready in the bullpen. It's pitched in both weekends. As gets on top of that one, it'll go foul. So Perkel will stay alive. McGahan trying to get this final out and go a full 7 innings. Was not happy with the fact that he only went 4 1/3. Talked about that he was happy that he put up zeros, but disappointed about the length. As play made by Haney over the first in time. So McGahan gets out of the 7th inning unscathed, and that will likely be the day for him. A good one at that. We'll be back for the 8th on Tiger Network. And welcome back to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. Here for the bottom of the 7th. And it will be Ezra Gore leading off for Trinity.
We saw McGahan go a strong 7, only allowed 2. On the heels is going to be
Gore gets this one down in the gap. Patrick Manning able to hold him to 1, but Ezra Gore, the lead hitter, gets on base.
I was going to say on the heels of McGahan, it's going to be Tim Noon trying to go a full 7 as well. And a great start there for Gore. And only 86 pitches here for Noon, but you can see here there's going to be a mound visit.
There will be a visit. We'll see if it is a change. And not taking the baseball yet. So it seems like they're going to let Tim Noon get out of this and finish this inning. Referenced it earlier. Said he treats him like any other player. If he has to pull him, he has to pull him. And there's no time to say keep your head up because we got to get the next guy in there, he said. So Montreza up for Trinity, trying to bring Ezra Gore across, manufacture the leading run.
And I kind of wonder, with it being Gore that got that base hit, I wonder if the mound meeting was because it's Ezra Gore. He's already stolen a couple of bases in game 1. Maybe a, hey, keep him close. You're a lefty. Don't let him.
Ezra Gore always a threat to steal. Check on him there, back in time.
Because we've seen a lot of throwovers from McGahan. We haven't seen a lot from Noon. So maybe it was just a, hey, keep your eyes up.
19 stolen bases last season. Montreza swings through that one. It's a good breaking ball there. Force Montreza to go over it. Gore at first. Montreza trying to bring him over, if not in. And Noon will check on Gore once again. Very concerned about the speed from number 4. Montreza gets a piece of that. This could be 2. Gore gets Montreza, and that will be the first 2 outs of this inning. So the leadoff single from Ezra Gore amounts to nothing as the double play turned by Babson.
Tim Noon's best friend walks in the door, and Tigers now have to restart all of this momentum that they might have had going here in a 2-2 game late. Austin Davidson might have had a runner in scoring position, but it just wasn't to be. Now he's up here with 2 down.
Big double play turned by Babson, taking that runner away as Davidson swings through that one. Gore represented the leading run for Trinity here in the bottom of the 7th. Not anymore. Davidson takes that one inside.
See Noon working with a lot of urgency now.
So last inning, Noon struck out 3 batters in a row. This one not the case. Able to get the double play that represents the first 2 outs. Now trying to get Austin Davidson as Davidson stays alive, fouling that one off to the right side. Davidson gets a hold of this one. It'll get down. Austin Davidson reaching with 2 outs, trying to go to second. Not in time. Santos loses the ball, and Davidson has a double.
And that double play becoming critical there. Trinity been able to get Gore over to second in some way. That might have been enough to score him. Hit into the gap. Austin Davidson coming through, doing a great job of hitting. And now the Tigers have a runner in scoring position with 2 down. So we'll see if they pinch run him here. And it looks like they will.
That seems to be the indication. It'll be Jack Peterson coming in to pinch run. Started in center field last game, so pretty easy defensive adjustment that can be made for Trinity. With Davidson starting this game in left field, it'll be Matt McNaney up to bat. Only his 2nd start of the season, put in a big spot. McNaney gets a piece of this one to right field. Play made. So Davidson able to double, but Babson able to keep him there. That will be the end of the 7th here on Tiger Network. 2-2 ball game. Stay tuned. And welcome back to San Antonio. Harrison Durow on the mound for Trinity, putting him in this high leverage situation, tied at 2 late in the ball game. Durow went 8-0 last season for Trinity, already 0-1. As Dave Smith telling me, we have not seen the best version of him yet, but saying his stuff is better. Worked hard over the offseason. You can see the improvement in his stuff altogether. Just trying to bring it to the mound.
And he'll be facing the top of the order here for the Beavers. Tanner Santos with a walk. He's also reached by error. scored a run back in the first inning.
That pitch low. We know Dureau loves that low curveball, similar to McGahan, with 2 strikes. Loves to dirt it in front of the hitters. So McNaney needs to keep his head up, as that one's in there for a strike, locating that breaking ball on the outside portion of the plate. That pitch high. Tried to locate it again. So we've entered the 8th inning of play. 2-2. Tight game between these two squads. Nothing new here. And swinging through that one is Santos. Second strike of the at-bat.
2-2 now to number 2 in a 2-2 game. And the second single-digit pitcher.
Gets under that one. Out to center field. Play made. Jack Peterson out there was the pinch runner for Austin Davidson. Moves over to center and makes the first out there.
Very nice first at-bat here for Harrison Dureau.
We saw Dureau's last outing. Seemed that the trouble that he ran into was when he went through the lineup a second time.
Yeah, he's got, I would say, almost electric stuff to guys who haven't seen him. And then people start to figure him out a little bit, which tells me that he's almost back at 100%. You know, when you see that happen over and over, you know, this is a guy who he can close, and he's been electric as a closer. He's been very solid as a starter. So he's kind of in between right now, and they've been pushing him out there for multiple innings at times. So as he gets into that ability to get back into that complete starter's role, you'll see him be able to go through the order multiple times before people start to figure him out, and he's almost quite all the way back to that point.
That's what they hope to do. Pitched 2.2 innings against Hardin Simmons. Gave up 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. Is that one in there for strike 3?
And you can tell right there, he knew it. As soon as he released it, he was already starting to walk off the mound, back turn, knew he wasn't receiving the ball back from McNaney. He was like, yep, that's strike 3. I don't have to worry about this one. And that's quick 2 outs here. So he gets Manning down on strikes. He'll bring up Savage.
Right down the middle, that off-speed pitch. Really effective for Harrison Dureau.
That's what we're saying. I mean, you know, one time through the order, guys haven't seen him. He's electric, right? I mean, he brings that off-speed movement. He brings a great breaking ball, and he can get you with a fastball as well. But he's so different than what Trinity's been throwing with McGahan that, you know, it's such a change, and it'll catch a batter off target. Second time through, maybe not so much.
Hoping to get out of this game before Harrison Dureau has to see these batters for a second time already in this 8th inning. As takes that one for strike 1. Savage looking at that pitch. It'll be a 2-2 count, actually, according to the ump there. As this pitch in there for strike 3. And that will end the inning. A quick one for Harrison Dureau. 1-2-3. And this game tied at 2 on Tiger Network.
One.
And that pitch in there. New pitcher. No longer Tim Noon. Ends his day, went 7 innings, 7 very, very good innings. As now it'll be Tim Person. Him and Stephen McClendon, the guys that Coach Noon specifically highlighted out of the pen. We could see in key situations. Strike called there. Also a pinch hitter for Trinity. It'll be Michael Lustina, who got a third base start last weekend. Lustina hits this one up and far the play made. Ruben making another play out there in right field and robs Lustina of what could have been a double.
Yeah, Ruben has been fantastic roving in right. And Lustina's pinch hit at bat's going to get a lot of high fives, and it should, because that was a fantastic pinch hit plate appearance. But Tigers now to the top of the order with Christian Holloway, and as you mentioned, Person, along with McClendon. And
Holloway gets a piece of this one out to deep center field. That ball's gone! Christian Holloway gives Trinity the lead. A second home run in 2 games, and the Tigers take a 3-2 lead.
Christian Holloway just slightly ahead of me here. I was about to say, with no offense to Person, Trinity really needs to get to him and put some runs on the board, because if they have to face McClendon, it might be a situation in which McClendon's going to shut them down, just like we saw DeRoe shut down Babson's order. And the second home run of the day, he did it in game 1 to lead off, and he does it in a big way here. Puts the Tigers back on top, 3-2. Christian Holloway, man of the day.
Absolutely, 2 home runs. Nick Lazara had the team lead in home runs for quite some time. Not anymore. Christian Holloway hits his second as that breaking ball from Person in for a strike. So not the best start to the season for Tim Person.
2 long fly balls here against Person. So if I'm Haney, I'm going up there. I'm trying to see what he's going to give me. Already down now 1-2 in the count, but I'd look for something up. See if you can drive it.
Haney gets a piece of that one, going to ground it to Person, underhanded, and makes the play. Justin Guest out there at first base, able to retire Tanner Haney.
Yeah, good job there for Person settling back in. As I said, look for something up and drive it. And throw in the breaking ball, and Haney went down. Good to get a piece of it, but dribbled it out in play, and makes him 0 for 8 on the day.
And now Brandon Nelson, the DH for Trinity, trying to tack on. The Tigers take their second lead of this game. We're up 2-1. Babson got one back. And Trinity up 3-2 off a Christian Holloway solo home run, getting another start at third base. And Brandon Nelson takes that one, ooh, for a strike. Called strike on that outside portion of the plate.
I'll take that, because the one that he just let go of the pitch before I thought was a strike. And the ump said it was a little bit high. So maybe you get some, you win some, you lose some. But at the end of the day, this strike zone, both game 1 and game 2, if nothing else, I thought it's been really consistent for these hitters.
It all evens out in the end as Nelson takes that one outside. And that will bring the count to full. So Tim Person in danger of losing Brandon Nelson. On the hook for the loss right now and loses him. Ball inside. Brandon Nelson will take his base. And Trinity is going to try and extend that lead.
So Lustina with the fly out, the ground out from Haney. Holloway with the home run in between, and now a walk to Nelson. Brings up Kai Tinker. Led off today with a big double in the start of the second inning. Came around and scored the Tigers' first run of the day, but since then he's flown out and struck out. And he had some fantastic defensive plays along the way in this game here for the Tigers. So
pickoff attempt there, Brandon Nelson, unsuccessful.
And maybe a little bit to pad this game for DeRoe, if it is indeed DeRoe that's going to go back out there. He's in line for the win now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be curious if Trinity wants to bring out anybody in line for a save.
Nelson
A beautiful
runs. Not in time. Tag applied and the out collected. That'll end the inning, but not before Christian Holloway giving the Tigers a 3-2 lead. We'll head to the 9th in the Alamo City. And Harrison DeRose still on the mound here. It's closing time here in Trinity. 3 outs away from a series victory. He'll have to go through the middle of this Babson order, starting with Cook.
Yeah, we have been treated to a 2-2 game for 6 innings. And Christian Holloway breaking that, giving the Tigers the lead.
As Cook grounds out there to Montreza, completes the play. Almost said it too early, but Montreza able to make the play. Tinker able to get the foot on the bag, and DeRoe 2 outs away.
Ryan Noon, nephew and cousin of Matt and Tim. One swing of the bat, he can change all of the fortunes here for Babson, looking to get their first win of the season. Started off 0-1 with a 6-1 loss hours ago in game 1 of this doubleheader. Babson, that team that lost, I believe, 6 of their last 8 to finish the season.
Including the New Mac tournament games. 6 of their last 8, ultimately eliminated by MIT. As Noon fouls that one off himself.
And so looking to kind of right that ship. Their schedule does not get easy this year. I think they have one of the toughest in the country. They are playing some very, very good Division III teams, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow. But a chance here for Noon to maybe right the ship just a little bit and make tomorrow a rubber match, going for the series win. We mentioned beginning of game 1, the series, 12 games as we started this one. It was 6-6. Trinity taking an early lead now.
2-2 pitch here for DeRoe. Noon pops it up, he gets it down. So Ryan Noon able to keep this alive for Babson, and with 1 out, he is the runner at first.
1 for 4 on the day, batting in that 5 spot. We have talked about it. 5 through 9, 1 for 15 coming into that at bat by Noon. Now 2 for 16 on the day.
So it'll be a pitch runner for Babson, Xander Teeter. In at first base right now as Ike Keeley up to bat. And breaking ball in there for strike 1.
You know, not for Keeley here, not a job that you have to overdo. Your job is to move the runner over. Now, I get that you've already got an out in the inning and you don't necessarily want to be down to, 1 out left, last at bat type of situation. But if nothing else, his job is, end of the day, move that runner over, because you don't want to have the tying run at first with 1 out to play. So you can't have a strikeout here, and you can't have a, take out the lead runner type situation. So pretty big at bat for Keeley. An opportunity for himself here, even though he's had a rough day. He's had a great day behind the plate, throwing out the runner to end the last half inning.
Keeley trying to keep this thing alive for Babson. 2-2 pitch from DeRoe. In there for strike 3. Breaking ball gets Keeley swinging and one away from another Tiger victory.
Yeah, and a fantastic pitch by Durrell. We mentioned, you and I talked in between the innings after he went 1-2-3 and had 2 strikeouts back in the top of the 8th. It just looked like vintage Harrison Durrell, what we had seen from before. He might be back sooner than we thought.
So Luca Rubin trying to keep things alive for the Beavers. Talked about this series. Scannell and Noon coming in to this series 6-6 against each other. Scannell can go 8-6 with the 2 victories today. As that ball inside, but it's strike. So only 2 strikes away from closing this one out, and for Harrison Durrell getting not only his first victory of the season, but his first save of the season. Ball high there. Good take by Luca Rubin, who's been patrolling right field all day, making some key plays. Trying to make a key play for the Beavers here. Runner on first, 2-1 count. In there for strike 2. Guess what it is? It's the breaking ball from Durrell. His go-to pitch in a key situation. None more key than this.
Wouldn't be surprised to see it again here.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and that's it. Trinity sweeps the doubleheader and wins the series. Harrison Durrell getting the save. As Trinity able to take down the Babson Beavers 3-2 here in San Antonio.
Christian Holloway did it in game 1, got him started with the big home run. And he comes through in the clutch, bottom of the 8th inning. Puts that one over the left field fence. Put the Tigers up 3-2, and Harrison Durrell, shouldn't say cleaning up what Cade McGahan left him, but Cade McGahan throwing a fantastic game today. Going 7 strong, doesn't get the decision. Harrison Durrell comes in, gets the win, but for the Tigers, what a team effort. This is the type of game that I think if you were to go ask Coach Scannell, what are you most proud of when you coach a baseball team? These types of games are the ones that he walks away from invigorated by, because this team put their head down. They played smart, they played hard, and they grinded this one out all the way through. And a fantastic team effort here from the Tigers. This one's one that I think, if you're a fan of Trinity baseball, you should be really happy with. You beat a good team, and you did it coming off the heels of a situation in which you maybe didn't have all of that high momentum going the whole game. Fantastic job here for Trinity.
Finding a way to win this game, finding a way to win the series. Trinity baseball does it again. Now 5-3 on this young season. Well, that's it from us here at Tiger Network. I'm Cole Isaacson, and for Josh Muchagamba, that's it here in Trinity. 3-2, the Tigers are winners of this game and the set versus Babson.